Coconut oil is natural ingredient. It could be found in unrefined form. It could be found in refined in a lot of different ways to be extracted. You can see it as a lot of different derivatives into a lot of skincare products. So you might think it's amazing ingredient, so we're gonna use it. Now, I wasn't really prepared to find that some brands like to advertise their coconut oil as sunblock. They do say that it has SPF of 8, so it's great, and I really have issue with this one because there are some studies showing that because it's antioxidant, it might actually help with sun damage and more specifically with UVB sun damage. But here is the thing, we are talking about only 20% of the UV rays prevention going into the skin and doing a lot of damage. So coconut oil is not replacement of your sunblock. Never ever. Moreover, that because it's oil, it's usually with oils, they do retain some heat. So I personally don't use neither coconut oil or any other oil during the day because what I know and what my experience is that because it's structure, it might actually also dilute some of your SPF. So it's my personal opinion, my preference. Obviously, there are a lot of face oils that are saying you should apply them morning and evening, and they're good and beneficial. I have decided for myself, and I don't suggest it for people either. I think oils are great, but they are evening care. Claim number 2 that I really disagree with is that a lot of people will say that coconut oil is irritating ingredients and it will make you red and dry and inflame and everything else. Now, that's based on personal experience. There's might be a lot of factors there. You can see coconut oil in a lot, and I mean a lot of different compounds that can be created from coconut only, or coconut is one of the ways that something could be created. I'm going to list them, and they're quite a lot, and there's a lot more that there's no space really for them. In 2014, there was a scientific panel that did say and concluded that coconut oil is non-irritating ingredient. It is not allergen. Obviously, everyone can be allergic towards everything, so I'm not saying that's not possible. But another reason why sometimes brand will say how amazing their product is, or some people will say how irritating in general coconut oil is because of its pH. So our skin has pH of around 4.7 to 5.5, and this is slightly acidic. And the reason is because we need this acid mantle on the surface of our skin to protect it from the outside environment. Now, the pH of coconut oil is usually around 7. So these type of clients will say that because it's alkaline, it will damage the skin and it will be damaged for this amount of time, so you should not use it. A neutral pH of 7, which is what tap water has, is less disruptive of skin's natural pH than any other pH number. Coconut oil has around 7 pH, water has around 7 pH, and no, it's not so bad for your skin. And it's a really big thing that I can see a lot of people saying how coconut oil is highly hydrating and moisturizing, and they're replacing their moisturizer with coconut oil. I really don't agree with this one. So although there are a lot of benefits into coconut oil, in general the molecules, as I said, are quite large in order to go deep into the skin. So I personally believe that coconut oil is much more beneficial as a last step, as occlusive product. Obviously, not everyone's skin will agree with this occlusive product or any occlusive product, especially if it's acne. The last claims that I want to address is about the different comedogenic scales and how poorly is represented coconut oil there. So in most of the scales, you can find them everywhere, online, YouTube, Google, a lot. I mean a lot of them. So they were created around 50 years ago, and I say 50, when scientists decided that in order to create products for specific needs, it's a good idea to check if certain ingredients are good or bad. Now, they tested on rabbit ears. I am not a rabbit, my skin doesn't react the same way. Rabbit ears have a lot of different nerve endings, they are very good with blood circulation, their skin is very sensitive in this area. So it's very quickly reacting towards everything and very likely negatively reacting towards everything. So my skin is not rabbit ear skin. Obviously, if something is good there, then very likely it will be good for most of the people. But that doesn't mean that if they had some kind of negative reaction, I will, because I'm not an animal. And afterwards, there were some studies done actually on those that were with scale 4, 5 into 5 possible and super comedogenic and very poor blocking, and you should never use them kind of ingredients. And the tests were done on people, on human, and actually the results were not so bad. Comedogenic scales are some kind of idea, but they are not as great as people think. They are not the research which is showing how bad something is for your skin. You have to try it. There's a lot of different factors into saying that something is good and bad. And in this case, as I said, it might sound great. Scientists said that this is this, but when you look deeper into this kind of studies and tests and how they were created, you can see that there's quite a few errors inside. As I mentioned, coconut oil is one of the best choices for hair care, and this one does have quite a few scientific studies to back this type of claims. You can apply it, say, an hour before going to wash your hair. You can actually use it as overnight treatment. It's up to you if you want to do just the dry ends because you are considering to do something with the split ends and you want a bit of nutrition, or you can do it all over the hair length. Again, for the scalp, it's up to you. I personally use it all over, including the scalp. I find that it reduces any kind of irritation, redness, itching, but that's myself. Obviously, I'm not saying this is for everyone, so you can try a bit by bit. Now, because it is capable to go into the hair shaft, it actually really makes sense to try it as eyelash serum or eyebrows. Obviously, bushy eyebrows are something quite fashionable right now, and we just don't have them all. So instead of drawing them, you might try to boost a bit the hair growth for your eyelashes and for your eyebrows by using coconut oil. Now, it is made by saturated fats, but they're very different than the one from animals because they are medium chain fatty acids. So the body is not really good into storage, so you won't get them as a fat storage, but they're quite easily burning out, and therefore it will be much better and healthier choice than, say, a butter. So my daughter is 3 now, she just turned 3, and she has been using for most of her life coconut oil instead of night kind of lotion. So it worked great for her. Now, my son is almost 1.5 and he has baby eczema and his is worse. And I did try with coconut oil for him and his skin did not agree. So they have same diet, same parents, live in the same environment, and their skin is very different. They both have the same kind of skin condition as baby eczema, but for my daughter, coconut oil worked great. Now, obviously, especially when we have some kind of irritation, oatmeal baths are a great idea, but actually coconut oil is another choice. So this type of alternative you use the same way, a bit of coconut oil into the warm water. You can use it for your children, you can use it actually for yourself. Coconut oil could be mixed with baking soda and then used as stain remover. So you apply it on the stain, you rub it a bit, wait for a while and then wash it off. Some people will use coconut oil as wooden furniture polish, and the reason why they do this is because it will keep the moisture away from the wood. In the same time, it will repel dust, and if you use unrefined coconut oil, you get the bonus from the nice scent. Definitely coconut oil is quite oftenly seen in do-it-yourself type of products. You can use coconut oil as a scrub. If you use it for the lips, the easiest way is just apply coconut oil, get yourself a clean new toothbrush, and with circular motions, very gently, you just exfoliate your lips and you don't have to use anything else inside. If you use it for the body, then you can mix coconut oil with sea salt, sugar or coffee, and that way you can just rub it all over your body. Of course, you can use it as extra care for your hands and for your feet as well, just to keep the moisture into the skin. Again, I personally use it for the body, but I think it's much better choice if you apply some kind of moisturizing lotion, and then on the top, especially for dry areas like your feet or your knees, your elbows, you apply the coconut oil above, so it will keep inside the water that you have into the skin and the moisture from the product that you apply, because as I said, coconut oil will not give water. You can use coconut oil for your cuticles if you do your nails yourself before you push them. You can use it also morning and evening as extra care as well if your cuticles feel dry. One of the best uses of coconut oil is to use it as a makeup remover or as a first cleanser if you don't wear makeup even. You should definitely try it. You just apply it over the area, rub it very nicely, and my suggestion is to follow it with different cleanser and don't double cleanse with coconut in order to remove everything from the skin. Especially if your skin is oily, you should definitely consider using coconut oil or any kind of other oils instead of being afraid from them. There are some studies saying that if you apply different oils with different kind of compounds inside, they might trick your body to change the sebum you're producing in order to make it lighter. And if you follow, say, your coconut oil or avocado oil, sesame oil, jojoba or jojoba oil with some kind of product which contain those but surfactants as well, it will remove much better everything. And the reason is because surfactants will bind with what is left from your makeup, but also the oil that you have used, and lift it from the skin so that it could be washed away with the water, so nothing will be left afterwards. If you will be using oil as a cleanser, whether this one on or any other, you should apply it on dry skin. Massage for as much as you want to. I'll say probably at least a minute. Usually with oilier skin, after the 6 minutes, you might get a slightly tiny little things coming out of your pores. But if your skin is dry, it might take really like 15 minutes until something comes out. And it's actually a great way to remove oil with oil from your skin without doing any kind of damage. Another quite famous option is to do oil pulling, and that means that in the morning you get a teaspoon of coconut oil and you just move it around in your mouth just like you will use mouthwash for 15-20 minutes. And the idea is that coconut oil will be able to lift up any staining. It will be antibacterial. It will work quite great for the bad morning breath. So it's another very nice option for teeth whitening in a quite natural way. Now again, this is not a replacement of you brushing your teeth or using your mouthwash. It's just another option that you can do in the morning if you do have the time to do so. But it gives very nice results. The best way to see if your skin agrees with it is to do a patch test. So you apply a bit of coconut oil over here, the bend of the elbow or behind your ear, wait for 24 hours and then you can start using it. Again, I'll say probably apply it on a few areas, not just dive into it. Another trick is to look into capric or caprylic triglyceride in your makeup. It's very oftenly seen. It is a derivative of coconut oil, but it has quite a few of the properties. So if your foundation that you enjoy using contains this ingredient, very likely you will be good to try pure, raw, cold pressed, fermented or freezed or chilled coconut oil. The higher the demand, the more coconut will be produced, the more land and animals will be lost. So I think maybe we should look from this point of view, if coconut oil is actually so good for us. I hope you enjoyed the video, found it useful, and I gave you some information. Whether good or bad coconut oil, you will decide for yourself. Please like, share this video and subscribe to my channel for more interesting videos about skincare.